Besides being the owner of Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook, some of the most popular social networks in the world, Mark Zuckerberg is a young visionary who created an incredible fortune from scratch. But have you ever stopped to think about how this great businessman lives? In this video, you will discover everything about the luxurious life of Mark Zuckerberg.
Before we get started, I challenge you. You have to click on subscribe and activate notifications, and check the option all. But here is, you have to do all of that in less than 5 seconds. You got it? And if you can, write in the comments, hashtag #AllAboutSubscribe. Alright, let's get started.
Career. Born in 1984 in White Plains, New York, Mark Elliott Zuckerberg is a 37-year-old who became known worldwide as one of the founders of Facebook. The idea for the foundation of the social network came while Mark was studying at Harvard University, along with colleagues Andrew McCollum, Dustin Moskovitz, Chris Hughes, and Brazilian Eduardo Saverin. Initially called The Facebook, the platform created by Zuckerberg in its first version worked only for university students, as a form of socialization among students. But soon the site became popular, open to the general public, and achieved significant changes in user interaction, becoming the giant social network that it is today, with more than 3 billion active profiles. But Zuckerberg's internet ambitions didn't stop there. In 2012, for example, he bought Instagram for $1 billion. And in 2014, he bought the biggest messaging app, WhatsApp, for $16 billion. And today, the entrepreneur is one of the biggest names in technology. After all, a lot has changed since social networks became the extension of people's lives. Because he has access to the inside information of nearly half of humanity, Mark Zuckerberg has great powers, allowing him to live a life full of luxuries. Mansion. As it couldn't be different, Mark Zuckerberg takes advantage of the fortune he makes with his digital empire to accumulate a large number of properties. Currently, the American owns several luxury homes and mansions, spread across several locations. In the city of Palo Alto, in the state of California in the United States, the businessman has a beautiful house where he lives peacefully with his family. The residence is close to the Facebook office in Menlo Park in Silicon Valley, which guarantees better living and working conditions. To have more security and privacy around his property, Zuckerberg has other properties, and it is estimated that he owns a total of 20,000 square feet in the region. The main house, with over 5,380 square feet, has a simple and cozy architecture, which shocks many people considering the size of the programmer's fortune. The kitchen, for example, is in the Provençal style, with dark green furniture that brings an air of sophistication, being integrated into the dining room, which is very well lit with natural light. In an interview with CBS This Morning, Mark and his wife showed a little more of the interior of the residence, such as the family room that has a fireplace and plenty of books on the shelves. On the outside of the house, there is a space for a fireplace, where the businessman can relax, and a large green area for his children to play freely, in addition to a large saltwater pool. Altogether, they estimate that the developer's real estate investments in this region are worth about $51 million. Holiday homes. To enjoy the days of rest with his family, Mark Zuckerberg has already invested in real estate properties that are true paradise routes. In 2019, for example, he acquired 2 side-by-side lakefront properties in Tahoe, California. The land, which totals around 25 acres, has 2 mansions, called Carousel Estate and Brushwood Estate. The smallest of them, built in the 1930s, is cleaner, with a main house, guest house, and janitor's quarters, with a total of 12 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. The building is very cozy, with an integrated concept, while the outdoor area offers a beautiful view of the lake, as well as a pier for boat trips. The other property, built in the 1920s, is covered in darker wood on the outside and has a more modern, rustic design inside, with 8 comfortable bedrooms and 10 bathrooms in the main house. This mansion also has a game room, as well as a hot tub with a relaxing view of Lake Tahoe. On these 2 properties, it is stipulated that Mark Zuckerberg spent more than $59 million. On the north coast of Hawaii, on the volcanic archipelago in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that belongs to the United States, Zuckerberg and his wife own an astonishing 750 acres. In this place of paradisiacal beauty, the founder of Facebook has already posted photos on his social network showing the natural diversity of his lands, promising to preserve and contribute to the region's fauna and flora. And to acquire the two properties, he initially invested $100 million. Cars. Unlike other billionaires, luxury automobiles don't seem to do that much to Mark Zuckerberg's mind. But that's not to say the entrepreneur behind Facebook hasn't spent a lot of money on cars. Mark has been seen several times in popular cars, such as a Honda Jazz, which shows that in everyday life, he prefers to be more discreet, as a new model of this vehicle costs around $20,000. Another vehicle that the businessman has already been spotted in is the Acura TLX, a sedan that in its most complete version of the 2021 model can cost up to $39,500. But some sources on the internet say Mark also has some more powerful cars in his collection. Supposedly, the owner of Facebook owns a beautiful Pagani Huayra, a sports model coveted by many motorsport lovers. The sports vehicle has a modern design with an impeccable finish, combined with a super powerful engine. And the price you have to invest to have this machine is something around $1.4 million. Donations and philanthropy. Despite being a billionaire man with enough money to satisfy any kind of desire he might have, Mark Zuckerberg has demonstrated throughout his career that he has his feet on the ground and that he also enjoys helping society. The entrepreneur has already made thousands of donations that left many people shocked, as they were no small amounts. In 2010, for example, Mark caught a lot of attention when he donated nearly $100 million to Newark Public Schools, the system that runs public schools in the city of Newark, New Jersey. As early as 2020, he and his wife donated $300 million to help with the U.S. elections, recruiting more election officials and making more resources available to protect against COVID during the election process. But without a doubt, the most impactful philanthropic pledge made by Mark Zuckerberg was announced in December 2015. At the time, the businessman had just become a father and made headlines around the world for announcing that he would donate 99% of Facebook's lifetime stock value to charitable causes. In other words, if the market value of the social network is taken into account at that time, it is estimated that the amount donated would be $45 billion. This action accompanied the creation of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, an organization that has already raised millions of dollars in investment in research, education, justice, and opportunity. With that, Mark Zuckerberg has significantly helped many people, being a great example of philanthropism today. Lifestyle. Unlike many billionaires who prefer to have a personal life out of the limelight, Mark Zuckerberg is an internet-active guy who shares his personal life. From what can be seen, the entrepreneur has a routine of hard work, but also a lot of fun, taking advantage of everything his money can give him access to. One of his favorite activities in his free time is surfing, using his electric board on the beaches of Hawaii, and also target practice. When he wants to have fun with something more technological, he uses virtual reality games. And the programmer has also lived the experience of riding race cars in the state of North Carolina. Not very surprising activities for a billionaire, is it? But one aspect of Mark's private life, which is a luxury for few, is his personal safety. For example, which caused him a high expense in 2019, in addition to his private flights, which added up to an expense of $23.4 million that same year. To get an idea of the tours that Zuckerberg has already taken, to celebrate 7 years of marriage, for example, he visited the Parthenon in Athens, Greece. Another time, he visited the Louvre Museum in Paris, and has even traveled with his wife to Alaska. An enviable lifestyle, isn't it? Fortune. Today, Mark Zuckerberg is one of the most powerful people in the world, controlling and having access to the inside information of the billions of users who use his social networks on a daily basis. To get an idea of the relevance of the network founded by Zuckerberg, the business group Facebook, which also owns Instagram, WhatsApp, among other companies, currently has a market value that has already surpassed the incredible mark of $1 trillion. Just Eduardo Saverin, who is one of the founders of Facebook, currently owns only 2% of the company's shares, which is enough for him to be the richest person in Brazil. In addition to controlling the biggest social networks, Mark Zuckerberg has already tried to have an internet monopoly, having made a proposal to buy Twitter in 2008 for $500 million, and another attempt was the proposal to buy Snapchat in 2012, offering $3 billion to CEO Evan Spiegel, who was then 23 years old. However, the two agreements were not closed. And of course, the programmer didn't give up on having his platform for sharing photos and videos that disappear in 24 hours. And for that, he created the Stories tool on Instagram and Facebook. The legacy that Zuckerberg has built is so fascinating that it was once the inspiration for the film The Social Network, which was very successful, even winning a Golden Globe. And the businessman is consistently in the top 5 on Forbes' list of billionaires, alternating his position in the rankings with Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, and Jeff Bezos. This change in fortune is a natural phenomenon for those who have had their businesses listed on the stock exchange. After all, the stock market is not stable at all. At the time this video was produced, Mark Zuckerberg was ranked 4th among the richest men in the world, having a fortune of $134 billion. Plus, at 37 years old, Mark can be proud of being the youngest billionaire in the world. To give you an idea, after Mark, the youngest man to appear on the Forbes list is Zhang Yiming, also 37, in 34th place. And for those who don't know, Yiming is the man behind TikTok, one of the fastest growing social networks right now. Could this be a threat to Mark Zuckerberg?
Hey, you liked the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment. And tell some suggestions of another videos. And hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel, your curiosity in videos.